The leather chair in Uncle Richard's home office creaked under me as I sat there on Christmas Eve. The distant laughter and clinking glasses from the main hall filtering through the heavy oak door like some distant celebration I wasn't really part of. Outside, the sprawling estate in Greenwich, Connecticut, glittered with holiday lights strung across manicured lawns and the frozen edges of the private pond. Inside this quiet sanctuary, my laptop screen glowed with columns of data, positions, risk metrics, portfolio allocations that most people in that house could only dream about understanding. I was 36, dressed in a simple button-down and slacks that wouldn't raise eyebrows. My 7-year-old Honda Accord sat parked among the luxury SUVs and German sedans outside. To them, I was Ethan Harper, the quiet nephew who'd never quite measured up. The door swung open and Uncle Richard stepped in, Scotch glass in hand, his tailored suit gleaming under the desk lamp. At 62, he still carried himself like the king of finance, the founder of Harper Capital Group with over $400 million in assets under management. Ethan, still glued to that screen? It's Christmas. For God's sake. Put the laptop away and join the family. I closed it halfway, offering a small smile. Just reviewing some positions. Uncle Richard. Won't take long. He chuckled, settling into his oversized desk chair. Positions? You mean that little retail trading account of yours? Come on, son. You're 36. When are you going to stop playing games and get yourself a real career? I kept my voice even. I manage my own investments. It's working out okay. Okay. He laughed louder, swirling his drink. I've been in this business 35 years. I built Harper Capital from scratch. We manage serious money for serious clients, family offices, institutions. What you're doing in your apartment in Stamford is hobby stuff. Day trading, right? Chasing charts on your phone. I don't day trade, I said quietly. He waved it off. Whatever platform you're on, Robinhood. Whatever. There's a difference between gambling on stocks and real finance. You need structure, teams, due diligence. I could get you an analyst spot at the firm. Entry level. Sure. But it's honest work. Your father, God rest him, would want you building something stable. Not living off that inheritance like it's never going to run out. Dad had passed 8 years ago, leaving me a few $100,000 after the estate settled. Uncle Richard always assumed that's what kept me afloat. He never asked details, so I never volunteered them. The markets have been kind, I offered. Bull markets lift everyone, he corrected. But they end. Amateurs get wiped out. At Harper Capital, we have processes, risk frameworks, stress testing, professional teams. Our 5-year returns? Steady 12%. That's real wealth creation. Not whatever lottery tickets you're buying. My phone vibrated on the desk. A message from Lisa Chen, my chief financial officer. Urgent. Need to discuss Harper position. Asian exposure metrics worsening. I silenced it. See? Uncle Richard gestured. Always checking prices. That's speculation. Not investing. Professionals set strategy and commit. I worry about you, Ethan. Modest apartment. Old car. No corporate benefits. At your age, you should have security. The family notices. Your cousin Brandon just made partner at a major bank. Your cousin Claire runs her own advisory with hundreds of millions. And then there's you. The guy still playing stocks. It's embarrassing for the Harpers. I nodded, letting the words settle. Embarrassing. The word hung there. He leaned forward, tone softening into something almost fatherly. Look, family looks out for family. The offer stands, an interview at the firm. It's a start. Better than hoping your trades keep paying off forever. I stood. I appreciate the concern. I have a call to make. Out on the terrace, the cold air bit sharply. Christmas lights twinkled across the snow-dusted grounds.
Idealid, Lisa.
What's the update? Harper Capital just released their year-end investor letter, she said. Richard's touting the 12% returns and bragging about the new expansion into volatile Southeast Asian tech and real estate plays. But our analysis shows heavy leverage, thin due diligence, deteriorating risk ratios. If those markets shift, and indicators point that way, they could lose 40 to 50%. I watched the lights reflect off the pond. Execute the full redemption. All of it. Lisa hesitated. Ethan, that's $250 million. Nearly 65% of their AUM. This will trigger panic redemptions. They're mismanaging capital, my capital, and our clients. We protect first. Understood. Notice goes out January 2nd. They'll have 30 days. I ended the call and stepped back inside. Uncle Richard was pouring another drink. Everything all right? Sounded serious. Just portfolio adjustments. He snorted. Portfolio adjustments. We manage billions with teams. What you're doing is amateur hour.
Get a real job.
Ethan. Stop pretending. I returned to the party, enduring the pitying glances and condescending small talk. Brandon cornered me by the bar later. Still at it with the stocks.
Huh?
When you gonna grow up and join the real world? Maybe sooner than you think, I replied calmly. The night wore on, but inside me, tension coiled tighter. The decision was made. The slow build of years of quiet judgment was about to meet its reckoning. January 2nd arrived with a sharp, gray chill over Stamford. My actual residence, a spacious, understated penthouse I'd acquired years earlier through one of my entities, felt even quieter than usual, as Lisa called. The redemption notice was delivered this morning. Harper Capital has 30 days to process the $250 million withdrawal. How's Richard taking it? He's in full panic mode. Wants to know the identity of the anonymous investor. Begging for a meeting. Offering concessions. His team is scrambling. Tell them the decision is final. Anonymity remains. Over the following days, my phone lit up with voicemails from Uncle Richard. At first professional, then increasingly desperate. Ethan, we have a situation at the firm. A major investor is pulling out huge money. I could use your perspective. Maybe you follow markets enough to see something. Call me. Then. This is devastating. $250 million gone without warning. The firm could collapse. Family needs to stick together right now. Where are you? I let most go to voicemail until January 9th. When I finally picked up, his voice sounded exhausted. Thank God. I've been trying to reach you for days. Our biggest backer, anonymous through shells, is yanking everything. 72% of AUM. This will start a run. That's awful, I said evenly. We've delivered solid returns. I don't understand why they'd bail now. Maybe they see risks you're missing. The Asian expansion over-leveraged. Questionable markets. Long pause. How do you know those details? That's internal. You share them with investors, including anonymous ones through layered entities. Silence stretched. Then, carefully, Ethan. What exactly are you telling me? That I've been your largest investor for 5 years. The $250 million?
Mine.
Through Clearwater Holdings, a Summit Trust, Meridian Group, structures I control. Impossible. You're the nephew who trades from home. Modest life. Old car. I live modestly because I choose to. The Accord is reliable. I own the penthouse outright. I'm not day trading. I manage a $1.2 billion portfolio for myself and select ultra-high net worth clients who prize discretion. Dad's inheritance grew through disciplined bets. I built from there. He exhaled sharply.
You
Invested in my firm without telling me. You never asked. You assumed. Mocked my work. Offered charity, an entry-level analyst role, while I was already your biggest backer. You wanted me to learn from real professionals. This will destroy Harper Capital, he said. Voice cracking. Other investors will flee. You'll survive smaller. Hopefully wiser. Risk management failed. I warned 6 months ago through representatives. You dismissed it. That was you.
Yes.
You prioritized returns over prudence. The call ended with him pleading. Within hours, the family WhatsApp erupted. Richard's version painted me as the betrayer who'd hidden behind anonymity to sabotage family. Brandon called raging. You wrecked Uncle Richard's life, largest investor, and you never said a word. I was anonymous by choice. He took the money gladly. When risks escalated, I protected capital. That's fiduciary duty. Claire, sharper, dug into filings. She confirmed the connections. 1.2 billion? From your apartment? Technology enables remote teams. 12 professionals, analysts. Compliance. No need for flashy offices. The tension built as judgments flipped. Some defended Richard's loyalty. Others reevaluated me with new wariness and respect.
Inside.
The weight pressed, the moral ache of choosing client security over family comfort. The years of swallowed slights now exploding into open conflict. The family fallout spread like cracks through ice. Richard's firm teetered as smaller investors grew nervous. He called again after the Asian markets indeed corrected sharply. The redemption process today. 250 million wired. You were right, without your money exposed. We'd have lost nearly half in that sector. I'm sorry it came to this, I said. You seem calm for someone who just gutted family. I didn't gut it. Poor risk oversight did. Pullout was consequence, not cause. He admitted complacency had crept in, chasing growth, ignoring warnings. If I rebuild with better discipline, could you ever reconsider investing? Prove it over 2 to 3 years. Consistent metrics. No reckless bets. Then maybe. But anonymity stays. Why hide success? Success is the work itself, research, patience, protecting capital, not applause. The Easter gathering at the estate felt subdued. Richard's firm had stabilized at around 100 million AUM after deleveraging. He appeared humbled, less bombastic. Brandon kept distance, embarrassed. Claire sought genuine advice. People now viewed me differently, not the failure, but an enigma who'd quietly outpaced them all. Yet the new attention brought its own discomfort. Sudden requests for tips, introductions, money. During a quiet moment on the terrace, Claire said, "You proved us all wrong. I proved assumptions are dangerous. Real success hides in discipline, not titles or cars. Most chase shortcuts. I chose the boring path, saying no to tempting risks, exiting when metrics slipped. You protected your clients first, even family, especially when family blurred lines. Fiduciary duty doesn't bend for blood." Richard joined us later, hesitant. "Ethan, I've been reflecting. What if we partnered properly? Your analytical edge, my infrastructure. I don't need a partner. My structure works. Business and family separate keeps relationships intact. Reinvest if performance earns it. Withdraw if risks rise again." He nodded slowly. No special treatment, especially not for family. Hurt feelings destroy more than markets. We stood watching the sunset, the quiet acknowledgement hanging between us. Dad would have seen the patterns I did, the unseen risks, the quiet compounding. Richard finally admitted he'd been blind. The revelation had shattered pride but forced growth. Yet I felt the lingering question: how many families fracture when hidden truths surface? When judgment meets reality? 2 years passed. Harper Capital studied at 127 million AUM, smaller. Disciplined. Returns steady rather than flashy. Risk scores improved markedly. I reinvested 50 million anonymously through the same channels. Richard called the entity to express gratitude. Lisa handled it professionally on speaker. We've learned.
Better managers now.
Won't let you down. We believe you. But we'll monitor. Deterioration means exit. After. Lisa shook her head. He still has no idea it's you. He doesn't need to. Performance speaks. The family still whispered about the secret empire I'd built while appearing ordinary. I tuned it out. My days remained focused, morning briefings with the team via secure video, deep dives into filings, stress testing portfolios, ensuring clients' capital grew responsibly amid volatility. Claire visited my penthouse once, surprised by its understated elegance. All this time, from here, the work matters, not the address. Remote collaboration. Encrypted systems, it's efficient. She asked about the modest habits. The old car. Simple clothes, intentional. Keeps ego in check. Focus stays on data, not display. Chasing recognition leads to the mistakes Richard once made. At family events, Richard approached with updates, seeking quiet input without demanding partnership. Progress showed in his caution. Brandon occasionally asked market questions, tone respectful now. Yet the core remained unchanged for me. The work itself. Analyzing patterns others missed. Compounding patiently. Exiting threats swiftly. The vindication felt hollow compared to the satisfaction of another strong quarterly report, 14% year-to-date growth. High client retention. One evening, reviewing reports, I reflected on the original confrontation. The slow burn of condescension. The building pressure of ignored warnings. The explosive truth. And the long aftermath of rebuilding trust on new terms. Success wasn't the reveal or the respect. It was the discipline sustained through judgment, the capital protected for those who entrusted it, the quiet life chosen over flash. The family dynamic had permanently shifted, but I remained anchored in routine. Monthly portfolio reviews showed assets climbing toward 1.27 billion. Client satisfaction stayed near perfect. No drama. No spotlight, just steady execution. Richard's second chance succeeded because he embraced humility. When he called personally about the anonymous reinvestment, gratitude mixed with lingering curiosity. Your principal sees the changes. We're grateful. Show it through continued prudence. The conversation closed professionally. Sarah, no. Lisa smiled afterward. Strange choice. Staying hidden. Recognition tempts mistakes. I measure by returns and risk control. The family still speculated. Some seeking advice they once mocked. I redirected gently. No shortcuts exist. Investing rewards patience. Research. The courage to exit when conviction wanes. During a quiet Thanksgiving years later, Richard pulled me aside. Your father saw it, your gift for patterns. I dismissed it. Sorry for assuming. For the entry-level offer like charity. You ask now. That counts. We watched the same Connecticut countryside. The estate smaller in ambition but steadier. The original Christmas confrontation echoed faintly. The mocking tone. The coiled decision. The explosive revelation. The painful realignment. Ultimately, the story wasn't about revenge or glory. It was about the peril of surface judgments, the sanctity of fiduciary responsibility, the enduring power of quiet competence over visible status. I returned to work that evening, laptop open once more. Markets never slept. Risks never vanished. And protecting capital for clients, for principal, remained the only metric that mattered. The rest? Just noise I'd learned to ignore long ago. The question lingered for those who witnessed it. In a world obsessed with appearances, what hidden strengths do we overlook?
And at what cost?